When I saw this TV on the shelf at Walmart, I stared at it every time I walked into the store. It wasn't because of its sexy curvature, its 4K HDR10 screen, but the price to performance ratio. Coming in at $548 at the time of purchase, I was looking for a TV like this, 4K with HDR, 55-inch with none of the expensive bells and whistles, but still maintaining a quality picture. After a week and some change of usage and calibration, I've come to a conclusion. This is a fantastic budget 4K TV. Now, this is not necessarily a review, but my honest opinion. I want to talk about the good with this TV and the not so good.
Perfect.
The biggest downside to this TV is the remote. For $548, Samsung had to cut corners somewhere, right? Coming from a 2015 SUHD Samsung originally worth $2,000, I was used to a small, minimalistic magic remote with fair build quality. I was spoiled, I'll admit, but this remote is worse than some usual remotes or universal remotes you can pick up at Radio Shack or your local Walgreens. This remote is almost impossible to use in a dark room. It usually takes me maybe 2 or 3 days to memorize where the important buttons are, but with no backlight and similarly sized buttons all around, I find myself hunting and pressing the wrong buttons quite often. There are no hotkeys for quick access to like Netflix or YouTube or things of that sort, so you'll have to access the menu each time you need to change the input, even HDMI. But that brings me to the SmartThings app that Samsung devices use to allow you to use up to 100% control of the TV from a smartphone or a tablet. It's a free app in the Google Play Store as well as iOS. It's fairly straightforward and syncs to your phone via a 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi connection. Now, what has really impressed me the most, surprisingly, was the response time of this TV. And no, I'm not talking about refresh rate, but the interface. The moment I make a selection on the remote or smart app, the TV responds immediately. It even turns on and off very quickly. My older Samsung was sluggish and laggy to the point where it didn't even complete the task I had commanded. The NU7300 does everything with no stutter and a fairly quick load time for apps. I appreciate the interface for what it is. It's not like LG's WebOS or the higher-end Samsung Tizen, but it works well. Possibly a little cluttered at times, but you have the ability to move your most used apps to the front so you don't spend so much time looking for things. Build quality took a hit at this price point as well. This TV is full of hard plastic. When I lifted the TV up, it was surprisingly light. I could hear the crackle of the plastics, and I've never feared moving a TV as much as this one. I wanted to put it in place and never touch it again. It's not the thinnest TV, of course, but it definitely looks modern in any decor. And as expected, the speakers are absolutely terrible. Down-firing stereo speakers rest underneath the set that hopes and prays you have a TV sitting on its TV stand to help amplification and bass response. This room is small, but I find myself turning it halfway pretty often, but that's expected. Now, saving picture quality for last, your happiness with this picture quality will come from having the correct expectations. It does what it's supposed to do. It's not a QLED or an OLED or even a micro LED, but what it is a great edge-lit 4K HDR10 TV. There's no Dolby Vision, but we do have HDR10 Plus, which should rival Dolby Vision. I find this panel to be extremely reflective, as you probably saw in the beginning, so if you'll primarily be watching in the day, I advise having curtains or face this TV away from the windows and light fixtures such as lamps or recessed lighting in the ceiling. Other than that, it looks great in the daytime but shows its flaws in the night. There is no local dimming, so you do get light bleed around the edges of the screen, and at times the blacks aren't uniform, but you don't get this TV for inky blacks, of course, and amazing contrast. That's where you have to manage your expectations. That's where it's important. With all that being said, I'm very impressed with the 4K picture of this TV. It gets as bright as you'll ever need being LED, and the colors are vivid and captivating. I have not watched any cable TV at all on this TV because I stream most of my content, but 1080p and higher looks great even in dark rooms. This TV is in my bedroom and I feel it's perfect for that. I think there are better suited TVs for a living room and home theater applications especially, but you can get by with this TV if you aren't looking for super serious performance. Again, at $548 at the time of this purchase, I'm extremely happy with this TV and it gets my Kpaceguy seal of approval. I just made that up.